Good day everyone, I am Allysa Marie C. Alonde of Y1PMG03 NAPHTALI, and I will be discussing the outline of the history of the Philippine monetary system. This discussion would focus only on these topics, which is the definition of money and broader definition of money M2, M3. And now let's start the discussion by discussing the definition of money. Money is an economic unit that functions as a generally recognized medium of exchange for transactional purposes in an economy. Money provides the service of reducing transaction costs, namely the double coincidence of wants. Money originates in the form of a commodity having a physical property to be adopted by market participants as a medium of exchange. Money can be market determined, officially issued legal tender or fiat monies, money substitutes and fiduciary media, and electronic cryptocurrencies. Money is commonly referred to as currency. Economically, each government has its own money system. Cryptocurrencies are also being developed for financing and international exchange across the world. Money is a liquid asset used in the settlement of transactions. It functions based on the general acceptance of its value within a governmental economy and internationally through foreign exchange. The current value of monetary currency is not necessarily derived from the materials used to produce the note or coin. Instead, value is derived from the willingness to agree to a displayed value and rely on it for use in future transactions. This is money's primary function, a generally recognized medium of exchange that people and global economies intend to hold and are willing to accept as payment for current or future transactions. Economic money systems began to be developed for the function of exchange. The use of money as currency provides a centralized medium for buying and selling in a market. This was first established to replace bartering. Monetary currency helps to provide a system for overcoming the double coincidence of wants. The double coincidence of wants is a ubiquitous problem in a barter economy, where in order to trade, each party must have something that the other party wants. When all parties use and willingly accept an agreed upon monetary currency, they can avoid this problem. Let's now proceed to the broader definition of money, M2 and M3. What is M2? M2 is a calculation of the money supply that includes all elements of M1 as well as near money. M1 includes cash and checking deposits, while near money refers to savings deposits, money market securities, and other time deposits. These assets are less liquid than M1 and not as suitable as exchange mediums, but they can be quickly converted into cash or checking deposits. M2 is a broader money classification than M1 because it includes assets that are highly liquid but are not cash. A consumer or business typically doesn't use savings deposits and other non-M1 components of M2 when making purchases or paying bills, but it could convert them to cash in relatively short order. M1 and M2 are closely related, and economists like to include the more broadly defined definition for M2 when discussing the money supply because modern economies often involve transfers between different account types. For example, a business may transfer a $10,000 from a money market account to its checking account. This transfer would increase M1, which doesn't include money market funds, while keeping M2 stable since M2 contains money market accounts. What is M3? M3 is a measure of the money supply that includes M2 as well as large time deposits, institutional money market funds, short-term repurchase agreements, and larger liquid assets. The M3 measurement includes assets that are less liquid than other components of the money supply and are referred to as near money, which are more closely related to the finances of larger financial institutions and corporations than to those of small businesses and individuals. The M3 classification is the broadest measure of an economy's money supply. It emphasizes money as a store of value more so than as a medium of exchange, hence the inclusion of less liquid assets in M3. Less liquid assets would include those that are not easily convertible to cash and therefore not ready to use if needed right away. M3 was traditionally used by economists to estimate the entire money supply within an economy and by central banks to direct monetary policy in order to control inflation, consumption, growth, and liquidity over medium and long-term periods. In order to determine M3, each M3 component is given equal weight during calculation. For example, M2 and large time deposits are treated the same and aggregated without any adjustments. While this does create a simplified calculation, it assumes that each component of M3 affects the economy the same way, which is not the case in the actual economy. This equal weighting can be considered a shortcoming of the M3 measurement of the money supply, which is why it is no longer used as a true measurement of the money supply any longer. This is the end of my discussion and I hope that you learned something. Thank you.